These are the elements you should have as the central atom: beryllium, boron, carbon, nitrogen, and oxygen. Again, hydrogen can't be in the middle. That's why hydrogen isn't in the center in that case. It might seem counterintuitive until you think about the fact that he just can't make lots of bonds. Then we have phosphorus and sulfur, chlorine. A lot of these probably make sense. There's one that might not, unless you remember that the noble gases aren't the edge of the electron affinity electronegativity trend. It ends with the halogens. So when you're looking at that periodic chart, we'll go back to it in a minute, the very far right column is all noble gases, and those actually have quite low electronegativity or non-existent electronegativity and very, very low electron affinity values. So xenon, if you have a noble gas, the noble gas will go in the middle. Sulfur, boron, another noble gas in the middle. And then we have, let's see, this case we had two centers. We have a carbon and an oxygen. Part of that we know because the hydrogens can't be in the center. And you'll see about why they can't all be on, let's say, hydrogen, has to do with once we do that, you're going to have more than 8 electrons. So if you try putting them in the center, you'll see that you don't have the right count of electrons. Nitrogen, oxygen, nitrogen, carbon, oxygen, 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 xenon. Remember, I know that these look like they should be lower electronegativity, but it's different because the noble gases aren't part of the trend. Like they don't go the direction they're supposed to go. Sulfur, sulfur, and then there's just 2 elements, that's NO. So let's look up here just to make sure we're clear on this. For the trend for electron affinity and electronegativity, the max point is the fluorine. These actually have very low values for electronegativity, or, well, they don't have values for electronegativity, but they have very low values for electron affinity. All right, so this would be carbon in the middle of this one. All right, so now we're going to do the remaining steps at the same time when we come back.